Alonzo.
It's my family, Dad.
Just for my brother.
I don't want my heart broken. What you gonna do if you keep trying to save a brother that don't want to be saved? Sometimes heroes have to walk.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nimes YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we back with another retro movie review. I've kind of been in this little thing of doing some summer reviews. I've been lately doing a lot of horror, but now I'm trying to step out and do something a little different. But not only I'm doing something a little different as far as with the reviews pertaining to horror, but I feel like I have not really done a romantic movie review yet. And this one is kind of romantic drama, and it's a really good one. It's a classic film. It has a real good cast in it, and it's kind of those black films that we used to get back in the day that used to hit back to back to back, you know, like Boys in the Hood or Thin Line Between Love and Hate, like this one, Jason's Lyric. But it's a ton of them that I come to mind. But outside of doing summer horror movie reviews, I would like to jump into some of my favorite summer romantic movie reviews and ones I used to watch back in the day when I was younger, and this is definitely one of the ones for me. Jason's Lyric pretty much tells the story of two brothers who are going through, or who went through a traumatic event when they were younger, dealing with their father. And when they get older, they're on two different paths. You got one brother that's in and out incarceration, and you got another brother who is just trying to maintain, but also has ambitions of doing something bigger and leaving the place that he's from as far as his neighborhood or whatever. And what ends up happening is Jason, who was played by Alan Payne, ends up meeting a lady called Lyric, played by Jada Pinkett, and they end up falling in this whirlwind romance. And pretty much we get this whole thing going on with Jason's brother, Josh, who is kind of basically latched on to his brother, who's kind of been his caretaker and kind of dealing with him and all his issues and problems and whatever. And one thing I really enjoy about this movie, and it's kind of I don't feel like they had time to, is the fact that they do kind of home in on the whole thing with mental, as far as somebody who's dealing with certain things mentally and certain things they have not got over when they were younger and dealing with that type of trauma as far as Josh. But not only that, the trauma he's dealing with being in and out of incarceration and dealing with that, but I also think it's a thing where he was looking at Jason as like, damn, it looked like my mama probably loved you a little bit more than me. This movie gives me a lot of vibes of Boys in the Hood as far as the brother relationship. But the only difference is Josh and Jason's relationship is seem a lot better than, you know, Doughboys and Ricky's and Boys in the Hood, but it's definitely still some of them similar dynamics there that they had in Boys in the Hood that Josh and Jason have in this. But it's really when the relationship starts to happen with Lyric that things start to really, really kind of go off the rails, because Lyric got her own situation dealing with her brother who's out here in the streets doing what he's doing. And shout out once again to the cast in here. We got Eddie Griffin. I forgot old girl name that be hanging out with Jada Pinkett's character Lyric, but she was in a bunch of Black 90 films back in the day too. She's a hell of an actress. But we even got this, I don't know if you can call him the town drunk or whatever you want to call him, but he's a guy that, like, in and out the movie be kind of throwing in these gems and kind of throwing in these hidden messages, not only for, I feel like, the hidden characters, but just life in general as far as messages or whatever. And I really like that, man. Even when I was younger, it used to trip me out, and it never threw me out the movie. And I feel like we don't ever get those type of things now, and I feel like that was real creative too as far as the filmmaking, having this guy come in who looked like pretty much a bum, but speaking like some real gems and really throwing out those life advice, like throwing out just stuff that you can maintain and pertain to your life. And as far as our characters, he definitely was speaking on a lot of situations that they were dealing with. But man, what I really also enjoy about this movie, and being that it was the 90s, is showing a person and showing this guy pursue a woman. Because I feel like in these days, it's 2023, it's a lot of dudes that want to be chased by women instead of them actually want to pursue women, which I don't have no issue with. I feel like, what's wrong with wanting to pursue a woman, especially a woman that you feel like is worth it and that you feel like, hey, we might have something. And that's what I really enjoyed about this one, being that you had Jason, you know what I'm saying, wanting to go or want to talk to Lyric, and she was kind of just throwing him off a little bit. And pretty much, you know what I'm saying, making him work for it, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know how long it took because, you know, they had the whole scene with them going to the woods or whatever. But your boy Jason was pulling out the stops. My man went and basically kidnapped a whole bus, made people miss their stops. Maybe they didn't get to work one day or something. But it took your girl and had a whole place shut down or whatever and had them having a little meal or whatever. Then took her out to the, I don't know where they was at. I don't know if they was in Atlanta. They might have been in Louisiana for all I know. But it looked like they were kind of in a swamp area, or whatever the setting of this movie is. Y'all can let me know, and maybe they did mention it and I was wrong. But anyway, even with Jason taking her out to the woods or whatever, my nigga out there rubbing on her feet and whatnot. Like, hey, you know it was going to go down there. But yeah, man, I do enjoy that because it's showing you, like I said, a man pursuing a woman, going after something that he feels like is worth it. And it does seem like Jada Pinkett's character, Lyric, is worth it. At the end of the day, though, both of them have so many obstacles in between them as far as Lyric's brother, and it really is Jason's brother and what Josh is dealing with, because once again, he has this whole mentality with it. Already seemed like his mama done pretty much gave up on him. I'm done with him. And it's like Josh is the only one still holding on. And then when he comes to these situations where it seems like maybe Josh or maybe Jason might be leaving, because they even have a conversation when Jason picks him up from doing time once again, and he's pretty much telling him like, yo, I'm trying to get up out of here, I'm trying to go do something different. And you can kind of he see these moments throughout the movie where Josh would do certain things kind of to throw Jason off of what he's trying to do, to make him kind of basically stay. So because I mean, when you look at it, it's like, nigga, do you really want to leave your mama around this Negro? I'm just saying, I mean, that's your brother or whatever, but I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that, leaving, and know my mama here and this nigga still staying in the house or whatever, you know he ain't right in the head. But man, and that's the thing though, and I'm not being funny when I say this as far as him not being right in the head, but I feel like they didn't touch on that, but I feel like they didn't have enough time to touch on that, because even at the beginning with Mad Dog, and as far as their father and him dealing with the trauma he has to deal with coming back from the war, and they kind of touched on that. But it's really the situation, and it seems like Jason, more than anybody, is dealing with the trauma of the situation that happens at the beginning of the movie, whatever, which we really don't find out that what really technically happened until somewhat towards the end of the movie, when he kind of breaks down to Lyric as far as the situation that happened at the beginning with Mad Dog breaking into the house and attacking his moms, pretty much, because Mad Dog was going through a trauma, man, of dealing with the war. He had lost his leg, and once again, we talking about the Vietnam War, if I'm not mistaken. So it was so many things that they really could have touched on, but I feel like once again there wasn't enough time, and plus the main story was about this romantic connection between Jason and Lyric. But yeah, them going into that, as far as what Jason was dealing with, having these nightmares, not being able to sleep, and him dealing with the trauma of being the one who shot his dad or whatever, that was crazy. And I really enjoyed those moments though. But once again, it's kind of that whole thing with them not being able to move forward, because Jason pretty much, he is offered a job in Dallas, and then he pretty much comes up with this whole thing with Lyric after they pretty much get into this situation between Josh's brother and her brother, and it's like, yo, we just need to leave, like, let's just go. But once again, he pretty much comes to the aid of his brother after his brother get into a situation with Lyric's brother, and he feels like, hey, I can't do it. I can't leave my brother. I got to be here. And I even feel like it's more so him thinking about his mom's too in a lot of these situations, making sure her safety is good. So it's very a dynamic movie, and that ending though, boy, the way it goes down at the end with Josh pretty much trying to confront Lyric's brother after they do this whole beat down with him, after they have this whole bank robbery idea they come up with, and after Jason pretty much confronts him, he's late there and all of this go down. But it's really the situation that goes down with Josh at the end when he's going after Lyric's brother, and he really is going after her too, but it's the whole thing in his mind frame with feeling like she's trying to take Jason away from him, because that's pretty much his only lifeline right now. Nobody else really has him like that, including his mother. And like I said, he's almost got this baby-like mentality of depending on Jason or whatever. So that's what I mean by the whole mental issues or whatever, and them kind of a little bit touching on that, and it was almost a reflection of him and Mad Dog, and the fact that he had this hatred towards him after he started acting the way he acted after the war, as far as Josh with his father, whatever. So there was definitely a lot of interesting points, but like I said, this ending is what's the thing, man, and the fact that he ended up shooting Lyric, that was crazy, and then turning around and shooting himself. So once again, with all this surrounding them and them trying to build this whole romance, the drama in this movie is very impactful. Shout out to Bokeem Woodbine and his performance as far as Josh, man. But yeah, they did a little tease, I feel like, towards the end, as far as not knowing if Lyric was actually going to be alive or not, but she ended up living. But I'm like, damn, Jason, it's the fact of what type of trauma he's going to have to deal with now. Because you know the whole thing with him shooting his father, now he dealing with the whole thing with his brother shooting himself. But I think it's more so of them kind of sending that message of him actually being able to let go of stuff now and being able to move forward with his life, because he was held back so much with the whole thing with his brother in that situation or whatever. But man, this is a good one. It's definitely a good one, man. The build up of the relationship between Jason and Lyric, but really that whole dynamic and the chemistry between Jason and Josh. And shout out to the performances of Alan Payne and Bokeem Woodbine and what they was able to do, making it seem like these niggas were brothers, like they seem like actual brothers. And shout out to the way they had the portrayal of the younger versions of them, the way they actually looked like them. But yeah, man, this is definitely one of my favorite ones as far as romantic drama movies. Y'all can let me know how y'all feel if y'all had a chance to check this out. If you haven't, you definitely should go check this out. This is a 90s gem. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know I upload new videos. Other than that, we out.